What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Snap on Ego. My name is Brad, otherwise known as Bradziver, and I am joined by Chris Bootman Bate.
Hello.
Are you excited?
You're
It's
excited?
been like 4 weeks.
You're a crazy person. I just checked. The last video went up 12 days ago, so we're like
Did it really?
at 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, you're in some weird type of time freeze or something.
Time isn't real. I'm sorry.
Like for me, the time like flies by. I'm like, oh, I just talked to this asshole Brad like yesterday. You got to record again. Yeah,
For me, I'm just like I can't get enough of Chris. It feels like it's been
I
a month.
can't wait. Yeah, are you live right now? You have a calendar and you're just checking off the days. Like, oh, when do I get to record?
Clearly
this?
not, because I thought it was like 4 weeks. Okay, so we're going to talk about the recent patch that we had. That was talking about our takes on the patch, the new season, all that good stuff, as well as going over just the cards in general, how we feel about them this season so far. We've gotten 2 of them, 3 of them.
Three of them. We've gotten 3. I screwed up when I was writing this out.
So
3.
we got 3 new cards. We're getting a new one tomorrow in Cannonball, and we can talk about our looking ahead to that card, as well as the one in the following week being War Machine. And then we have some other random things to go over in regards to Marvel Snap. So first things first, Chris, let's take a look. To give everyone a refresher, we're not going to spend too much time on this because you already know what this is. You've already seen it. This is the patch. Here we go. Real quick. First things first, the big thing, Graveyard. We have a Graveyard now in the game. Are you happy about that? How's it been for you?
I'm very happy. I've only needed to use it once or twice, like against like destroy decks. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's discuss this. So I love it. I love it because like we have to use untap, but now there's something in the game to do it. Like, there's some other things like right now, and especially with like Red Hulk in the future, if his tech stays the same, like I kind of want to see Energy too. Untapped actually just added that to their tracker in game, which I don't want to toot my horn, but that was actually my idea. I was like, yo, you guys gonna add this? Boom. Anyways, so let's discuss this. I understand why Wolverine and like Deadpool and like X-23, these types of destroy cards don't show up in the graveyard because they don't for Untapped either. But like they should. They should, right?
Give them their own category, right?
Yeah.
Or make it so that if you go over and like let's say like where it says like how many cards they have in their hand, you should be able to click on your opponent's hand and see public info. Public info being Deadpool that's gone back to hand, APOC that's in hand. That way you can click on it and see, okay, APOC is the only one I know about, or I know about a pig that got hit, right? And I can click on the pig and see what it was.
Yeah.
That's public info. Don't punish me for looking away for 2 seconds, like you even said.
Yeah, anything that I could write down. Yeah, anything I could write down on a pad of paper. Because like think about it, like with the graveyard, like the only reasons I want to know is like how big is your null, how cheap is your death, right?
Right.
How big is your Deadpool? Like these are the things I want to know. So like it's cool. Like I can see it like being beneficial. Like when Sokovia pops up and it discards a random card. If I'm not paying attention, cool. But like I want to know how big your null is. I want to know how cheap your death is. That's what I want to know. I want to know how big your Deadpool is before you play him out again, and all that stuff. So that's my only thing. Yeah, because I like. Maybe like Marvel Snap, they just implemented this, but Untapped, like step your game up. Let me know this information.
I want to say one thing about this real quick, and then we can move on to the next thing. The biggest and most egregious part of this is MODOK and APOC. If you have Collector and Morbius out, or your opponent does, I should say, and they play MODOK, instantly does fast forward. For some reason, the game can't handle having 2 of those.
Yeah.
And that's it. And when it does fast forward, you know what it skips? APOC's animation. So if they didn't show APOC at all earlier in the game, and if you already didn't know about it in hand, and you could argue, oh, you could just look at the hand size. You'd have to be tracking hand size the entire game. You could easily mix up. If fast forward through APOC, you don't know if they have APOC on turn 6 after going MODOK.
No,
he doesn't show up in the discard pile.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, sometimes just even being able to see that or knowing if they discarded Hela
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that
Just
too.
something weird like and stuff like that. But yeah, there's things that I think if they were looking at it from more of a player aspect, like what would I want to know, like so maybe we'll get some updates in the future. Maybe I'll bug Untapped about that feature. But yeah, there were some other quality of life things, but the big one, I guess we could talk about both of these. Next one up is the custom border.
Yep.
I'm putting that in quotes because I saw some people like saying like, "Oh, custom's misleading." Da 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 da. Like, what are your
Eh,
thoughts? And by the way, everybody, they have told us it was like answered in the Discord that right now the the custom border it's only per variant, but they're gonna change it or update it to per character.
right. So what that
So all of
means
your
is,
yeah
if I so like for example, if you're splitting a card and you get the God split on one of your Darkhawk variants, right? But it's on your Chibi split, but you really want it on your other variants for Darkhawk, you're not locked into having that exact split for just the Chibi. You can put it on any other Darkhawk variant in the future. Not yet.
yeah
However, that does not mean you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot mix and match your splits. So, Chris, if you have a inked glimmer card somewhere and you have a foil red crackle and you're like, that'd look great together, take the ink of that card and the
yeah
crackle on that split, you can't combine them. The splits, they want to hold or maintain their integrity or the specialness of pulling the splits. So they don't want you to just be able to mix and match whatever you have. So it's only
you
the split.
you put that in a very charitable way. I'll say that I
Is
think
that
what
not
was
what they
happening.
want to do?
Well, yes, and well, there's also another aspect. They'll lose a lot of money if we could just mix and match, right? If I could just mix and match whatever I want, why am I going to keep splitting anything? Why am I going to spend credits, which
True.
could potentially lead me to buying
But
gold and
I
stuff
actually,
like
I
that?
genuinely think this is one of the few times I genuinely think the integrity of like the coolness of the split is actually priority number one for them and not the monetize thing. Because
Yeah,
in my opinion, if everyone has a cool split, no one does. That's what's gonna
yeah,
happen. And like whenever I see a player with like all crackles or all ink like on a deck, I'm like, you put time and effort in that. That's cool. Good for you. And it's
yeah.
always this discard players or destroy players. But if I just see everyone with that, I'm just like, okay, it takes away from it. It's like,
Yeah.
did you ever play Halo?
I used to play a ton of Halo. I played a little bit of the new Halo for a while, but
Okay,
yeah, what about it?
we're going back to Halo 3. Okay, remember the recon helmet, Halo 3?
No, no.
Well, it was a helmet that was only available for Bungie employees and
Oh,
people that like knew Bungie employees,
yeah,
right? So if you had recon helmet, it was pretty sick. It was
yeah.
like,
So,
wow.
so kind of like these freaking little card backs bundles from PAX East that I've been trying to get somebody to send me from over the weekend and couldn't find
Oh
one.
yeah,
Just,
okay, that too. I saw people in the creator chat
oh my
complaining,
god!
being like,
Don't
"Oh
get me
my
started,
god,
Brad.
oh
Don't
my
get me started,
god."
Brad.
But what about FOMO? Okay, I'm gonna tell you all this right now. Shut the motherfuck up about FOMO in this game. FOMO only applies to if the game pieces are unable to be acquired at a reasonable rate, which I will say mostly true for a lot of players. They've done a lot of good things to improve. If you want to argue about that and complain about that, I'm all ears. I'm happy to listen to that. But if you want to say, oh, FOMO on this variant, FOMO on this card back, shut the fuck up. Exclusive things are cool in every game, across all games. Every single game I've ever played have, for example, I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. They have special skins and stuff like that for weapons, characters, whatever, for their Rainbow Six Invitational or Majors. If you went
Yeah.
to those events, you got a code for it. And that's awesome.
Yeah, it's honestly like collectibles, right? Like in Marvel Snap, I can't trade with you, but
Right.
what it reminds me of is like, so my son and I, like you might be able to see behind me, like we're really into Legos, right? So at Comic Con for a long time, Lego would go every year and they would have an exclusive Lego. They would bring like an
Right.
exclusive minifigure. Some of those things
Marvel
sell for like
themselves do
$10,000.
this.
Yeah,
Right.
it's nuts. but like you have to have these kind of exclusive things. But yeah, I saw people bitching like, oh, well, it kind of feels bad that we can't. I'm like, this is just everything in life. I've said it a million times before, but for some reason in Marvel Snap, like people forget literally every other real world thing that they deal with. Right?
Right.
Like there's exclusives everywhere, like benefits to attending events and stuff like that. Sometimes you miss out. Like I'm bummed. Like I talked to a few people at PAX East and they're like, oh yeah, I'll get you one if I find it. And I haven't heard back from anyone. But at the same time, I'm like, whatever. I missed out. Okay, cool. Like
it's also not that cool of a card back, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so like...
yeah, right. And there's a Captain America variant, you know. So
yeah,
but
like, and people argue like, but for the people that really love Captain America, all right, then go in the secondary market. Someone's going to sell it somewhere for like $200. Go do it. By all means.
Yeah.
Go pay for it. If you love it that much, there you go. Or it's probably cheaper just to go. Like fucking pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
To say it's
let exclusive things like happen. Like you're eventually going to do something, especially when creators complain about this. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you just leave the creator program and not get your 2,000 gold? Because I'm sure a lot of people are upset about that. You know, along with the whatever information we get, you know, ahead of time to create videos.
Is that not exclusive?
Yeah,
it's exclusive to us as creators because we put in the time and effort to care about the game. You're rewarded for doing something. Oh, you don't want that. Interesting. And like I don't give a fuck about any of this shit in the sense of like FOMO or like whatever you get from the creator program. Look, I would rather get fucking like free season passes to give out every month as opposed to the gold, in my honesty.
The 2,000 gold just burns a hole in my pocket. And I'm just like, what kind of variants do I want? And
I just use it on splits. I'm the worst kind of person. But anyway, so next up we have, after custom gold, custom border, we have the gold pass, which is pretty cool. So it's a 30-day pass that's just going to be in the game from now on. It's $5 every 30 days. You can essentially just get 1,800 gold for $5. It's 300 gold on purchase of the $5, and then every day you have to log in and like claim it, like the free credits every day. Yeah, and you get 50 gold. Now, I saw people saying that if you miss a day, you lose out. But on the first day when I claimed it, there was the little 50 gold thing, and it had a little symbol, and it had a little red 1 next to it. Like there's 1 available to claim. So I wonder if you skip 2 days, if it stacks and you can claim 2.
If anybody's missed days, let us know, because I'm not gonna skip. I want my 50 gold.
I mean, 1 month. Yeah, I've wondered. It's still a great deal in terms of Marvel Snap.
Pops up, like when you buy it, there's a disclaimer that's like, if you miss it, it's gone.
Oh yeah, I didn't read the disclaimer.
It's kind of
readings for nerds.
It's kind of like when you're spending tokens and stuff like that.
Yeah, no.
But no, this is pretty cool. Saw some complaints about this, but I do think overall it was like received well. It's something cheap. You could stack them. Like I just tossed in $10. I'm like, whatever. That's 2 months, $10. Here's a little moolah. And something that we've also talked about before, which I'll repeat again, is like for whales or even like larger dolphins, like, man, I have not spent a penny on the game, really. Like, I'm just not spending nearly as much as I was 2-3 months ago. Like,
same.
There's some kind of weird threshold that you meet where you're like, collection complete, just have everything, and you just don't really need to spend, right?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I have 46,850 is my tokens. 46,850. Yeah. And then I have, I think, 13 or 14 spotlights at the moment, which my spotlights have gone down a bit faster because of the extra card in the month. Yeah. But all it takes is a couple of weeks of a high roll for number 1, and I don't care about the variants.
Dude, so yeah, I love Pandart. Like Pandart's like just up there for me in like variants. And like this month, not only am I getting the new cards, but I also want the variants. So I've been using tokens and opening, and I've been high rolling on my caches. I've been getting like first. I think 1 week it took me 3. But anyways, I still have 20 something caches, 40,000 tokens. Like, so yeah, this isn't everybody's situation, but I'm just saying I haven't had to spend anything in a while.
Well, and tomorrow, is it, what is tomorrow's?
I think Max Rec is the 20th.
Because if I don't, I might just do tokens tomorrow. To be honest, looking at this, they switched the Miss Marvel, right? Oh, no, the Miss Marvel is this tomorrow.
Yeah.
There was the glitch where you could get the Miss Marvel instead of Ghost Spider last week.
Yeah.
If you didn't update. Yeah, I might just use tokens on Cannonball, dude.
Yeah.
And War Machine. I might just save my caches. I don't like any of these variants.
I've been using tokens on all of them and then just caches on the variants. We'll talk about Cannonball in a minute, but like tomorrow I'm kind of like up in the air. But yeah, I've seen there's been so many conversations. I guess let's talk about this real quick. There's been a lot of talk about Marvel Snap having too many cash bundles and not enough gold ones. Then they just released that new gold one. I think it's
which is ass. The Ink Pulp
yeah.
one is absolute ass, and I love Ink Pulp. He has quickly become one of my favorite, if not my favorite, artists in the game, next to Rian Gonzalez and stuff. It's ass. It's 2,200 gold. You get 750 credits and 1,000 tokens, and then like 315 boosters. Horrible.
Yeah,
like I'm not getting it.
I'm not a math guy, but yeah, I never played Black Panther. Like I got his like Hellfire Gala one, but yeah, as far as like the cash bundles versus gold bundles, like what I don't get is just like don't get them. Like I have money, I have a full-time job, I got credit cards, I have a couple other streams of income, but like I'm constantly scrolling past all of these. I just scroll past them. I'm just like, no, I don't want it. No, these little.
I got the Sentinel one because I wanted a good Sentinel variant. I liked it, and that one has good value. Yeah. It's like 1,200 gold for $20, and then the credits 2,000 credits, something like that.
That's what I've debated on. I also debated on the Magneto card back. I thought it looked pretty cool, you know, but I'm always rocking either the Spider-Man
it's a card back. They see it for an instantaneous moment until it flips up.
Yeah.
The only time I actually check for card backs is if like they play a card and it doesn't say created by something like that, and I it's like from a cable or something, and I have to check. I'm like, okay, is that their Mockingbird? Or did they steal mine? I check the card back and I see it's my card back.
Yeah.
That's the only times I'll do, or same vice versa. Real quick, we got some cool new VFX for Deadpool, Psylocke, Legion, Darkhawk, and Moongirl. I've seen Moongirls, Deadpools, and Psylocks.
That's pretty cool.
I have not seen Legions. No, I have seen Legions. Don't remember it, and I have not seen Darkhawks.
Huh? I haven't seen Legions or Darkhawks. I don't even think I've seen Psylocke, so I'm just not paying attention. I do like the Moongirl one. That's fun.
It's cute. The Deadpool one is fine. I don't know why do you know why there's a heart? Is it because he's dying and he loves death? Is that why there's hearts?
I don't know.
It's the only thing I can think of. I don't get it. All right, those are cool. And then real quick, balance updates. I'm going to rapid fire these, and then we're going to go over our thoughts after the fact, because everyone knows these already. Elsa, 3/3, global effect, +2. Cool. Meek, when you move it with discard a card, gains +1 power, and you can move it next turn as opposed to it moving on its own. Awesome. Mantis, 2/2, on reveal, get a copy of a card that they played this turn. Kind of like a mini leader, but worse. Better than old Mantis. It's okay. I've been playing it. Whatever. Cable, this is a good one. 3/4 to a 2/3. Back to his original stats, essentially, but a buff to a 2/3 rather than being a 2/2. Now that Mantis has moved out of that take from a deck thing. Time Stone, on reveal, draw a card and give it -1 cost. You would think this is a huge nerf. It's not. We'll talk about that in a second. And Baku, it's a 1/2. At the end of the game, jumps from your deck to the lowest power location that isn't full. So we got Proxima Midnight's text. Cool. Still bad. Yandu, 1/2. On reveal, destroy the lowest cost character card in your opponent's deck. Future proofing for Baron Zemo, because they want the line to be Yandu into Cable into Baron Zemo to kind of give you, or no, what's not Baron? Sorry.
No, I think it's it's Baron Zemo.
Is it Baron Zemo?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'll Google.
Basically, they want you to have that nice curve. It's future proofing, and the idea is that Yondu now gets the bad hits out of the way and makes sure Cable and Zemo better. I've been trying it. It's been fine. I thought this would be awful. It's been okay. I don't mind it. It's really not that bad. Leech, nuked into the sun. On reveal, remove the text from each card with an on reveal ability in your opponent's hand. I think this is bad. I tested this today. Now it doesn't dodge Cosmo anymore because it's an on reveal.
Good.
And then removing text from on reveals you would think would be okay because there's so many in the game. But if you look real quick here, if we go to the decks for Marvel Snap and we look at, just the top decks in general. Let's see honor reveals we're taking away. Well, you're taking away Blade and Hela. Hela's a good hit. Magneto's a good hit to take away the honor reveals. However, they've probably already gotten value out of everything else in general. So Hela's one thing. Tribunal, there's like no hits here. These are all on reveal.
Ongoing.
Let's see.
Then there's also just regular discard. So it can't hit your Apocalypse anymore.
Yep. The big thing is Thanos. You're hitting Shang-Chi, which is the biggest one. Alioth is big, and Blob. But then the stones, they've already played. They already got Mockingbird. Doesn't affect Mockingbird. She's still cheap. Cold Obsidian, you can still play. That doesn't do anything. The new Surfer deck hits Surfer. That's cool. That's probably one of the bigger impacts. Sarah Control hits Shang-Chi Enchantress, but all these other ones, they don't care. And Destroy, you're hitting Artem Zola. Because by the time you play this on turn 5, Nico, Carnage, Venom, Killmonger, Hulkbuster, Deathlock, they've played them all already.
Yeah.
So it's just... And this is one of those things where, like, I think Leech would be a perfect, candidate for becoming a 4-cost, but they can't because Zabu exists. Like, think about it. This effective Leech could be a 4-cost, and it might be still bad because of all the things I just laid out.
Yeah, I just don't know how upset I am. I never play Leech. I just get annoyed by him. I'm always on the receiving end,
Right.
He's just a card that I never play. So I'm just like, eh. But yeah, I like
full rework at this point because this feels like the original leader change to me.
Yeah, where they nuked it too hard.
Yeah, this feels like, why would you play Leech?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, can you give me a good reason to play him right now over something like Cosmo or, like, let's say you want to hit the Shang-Chi in their hand. Cool. Run Armor. Run Cosmo and protect your cards they're going to
I don't even know if the Leech nerf was, like, necessary. Like, it was mainly being played. I guess it was played in She-Not a little, but, like, also, like, Darkhawk, but Darkhawk got changed to a 5-cost.
No, it's this. Look at that. They say off rip, we're aware that Leech is among the least beloved cards in Snap on any given week. Like, that's why they changed it. In that time, we've also made several more design disruption, better rates, Echo, Mobius, Shadow King, Kyra, Supergiant, blah, blah, blah. Thanks to additions, we're ready to try restricting Leech to affect a narrow band of cards. We'd like to make sure Leech continues to play some kind of role, so we chose to affect one of those bands he consistently targeted already on reveals. See, here's the thing, though. I don't know. It didn't feel like on reveals were the best hits for him. I thought like the ongoing stuff were better to hit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it's an easy tweak. They're like, let's try it with the ongoing now. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what you do.
Yeah. What's his play rate? Did it drop significantly?
I'm sure it did. Let's look. So latest patch, Leech from 80 to 100 plus, 6,000. Still see people trying it in She-Not. I tried it today. It's not great. 1%.
Switch to the last 30 days. See if it's any. Like, I wonder how much it was being played before. I wish we could filter dates more specifically. But
so last 30 days. Leech, same criteria, 6,000 plus, 80 to 100, and Beast dropped.
Oh shit!
3.5%.
Yeah, he fell off just a little bit.
I just I don't know. I honestly, he could be a 3/3 or a 3/2 with this effect, and I don't know how good it'd be.
The thing is there anything out of control that old Leech would have kept in check?
Potentially Living Tribunal. Potentially.
Yeah. Like maybe.
I don't know. I don't know how you change Leech to, because like I'd be for just reworking him at this point. Like maybe make him a 1/2 and just randomly remove the text from a card in their hand.
Yeah.
So now you have like a trio of like disruption,
like a little pig, Spider Ham.
Yeah. Exactly. So you have like Spider Ham, Leech, and then you also have like Iceman to deal with stuff.
Oh man, if it was a random card though, I'd put that shit in bounce so fast. Bop.
Yeah. So then make it a 2-cost then for random.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I personally, I miss 2/2 Spider Ham a lot because the randomness was what made him good.
Mm,
And I understand that him being a 1/1 with Randness and information was great. He's fine in a good card now at a 1/1, but
yeah.
whatever. All right,
It does feel
overall,
nice when you get a nice little high roll. But
yep.
yeah, real quick, I do want to say that I love that they buffed Elsa. Well, they did the Luke Cage thing, right? They turned her into a
Yeah.
3 cost and gave her that. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with Elsa in some different decks, so that's dope. Meek, Meek's good, and this is a lot better. This is better. I will say that. Is definitely an upgrade. I don't know if people are going to be like playing him more or purchase him or get him if he comes out. Uh, yeah, let's jump to Time Stone.
I
What were
mean,
you saying about Time Stone? You've been playing some Thanos?
no, I mean, yeah, I'll talk about times in a second, but to go over Meek real quick, this is
Oh,
the deck I used at Infinite.
oh, that's your deck?
Yep, went 39
Yeah,
and 16 plus 91 cubes.
yeah. It looks like a fun, just nice little discard.
It's just
I love your
good.
addition of Proxima. I see you're not using Corvus.
Nope, unnecessary in this. Like Corvus, just like what am I using the extra energy for?
Dude, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that card. Like every deck that I tried to play him in, like he just targets my Modoc so fast, and like it does 2 cards, and it's just like Modoc seems like such a key piece. Like I like your deck. That's fun.
So to go over Thanos, the Mind Stone change is very simple. Now, instead of it being on reveal +1 energy next turn, draw a card, it's on reveal, draw a card, give that one -1 cost. On paper, you're like, wow, that's a huge nerf because now it's no guarantee, time stone on 3, ramp into a 5 cost, on 4. That's gone. Well, this card came out.
Yeah,
And Mockingbird is insanely good. She's so
that's a
good
good card.
that Thanos decks are now main decking Mobius, in which they did not before, purely to win the mirror and not let your opponent drop a Mockingbird. Now, of course, there's other applications to Mobius, Sarah Control, anything with Zaba, anything with Sarah in general. That's good. That's good to have, but it's really for Mockingbird. And I think she should be a 6/10.
6, 10, yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know about the 10 because they kept her out of Shang-Chi range. If they nerf her, they'll probably do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's like
Yeah.
make it less likely for Thanos decks to just drop her on 3, because right now all you need is 2 stones.
Yeah.
Just that's it. Mind Soul on 1 guarantees if you have her in hand, she's a 3-drop, right? So a 3/9, pretty consistently. Now, if
Yeah.
you change her to a 6, that means you can only get her on 3 if you drop Mind Stone on 1 or have like 3 stones in hand, right? You have to high roll a little bit. And on top
Right.
of that, give her a genuine cost for those high rolls. Make her Shang-Chi-able.
Yeah. So, well, let's parlay. Let's parlay into the topic that I want to ask you about.
Sure.
Like, what are your thoughts on on Thanos? Like, there's a lot of conversations. Like, right now, like Thanos is just like maintaining like a few spots in the top decks and stuff. And yeah, like Mockingbird just made her a whole lot better. Hope Summers, the new season pass card, is making Thanos better. So even without Time Stone, like you still have Hope Summers. Like, yeah, look at look at these decks.
I mean, he's got 12% popularity. His stats are fine for the most part.
Yeah.
Overall, the stats of the deck aren't like scary. Like 0.46, 56 win rate. Like these are good. These are good stats.
Put it to 100 plus. Let's see what infinite only players are doing with these though. Did it go slightly?
Loses some cubes.
Who the hell is playing this Agatha Thanos?
It's Agatha. It's just farmers. It's just booster season pass farmers. That's it. So let me. So this is
14%.
no that hold on. I gotta exclude Agatha because it's messing up his stats. I'm pretty sure. Let me see if it even does it work if I exclude Agatha. It's gonna show him. No, it's gonna show it in general.
Yeah.
So these are including like the negative like 50 cubes from Agatha, unfortunately. So, but we see like the top deck 0.30 in post infinite, point 30, point 27, point 15. Like these are all like within a range of that I find to be acceptable. Now, that being said, though, there it is an issue of looking at previous cards and being like, wow, that's a Thanos card. Like Hope Summers feels like a Thanos card to me. Mockingbird, Thanos card. Blob, Thanos card. Alliath, not so much. It's like it's just generically good. Cold Obsidian, Thanos card. Black Swan, Thanos card. Kyera, Thanos card. Like these are all recent releases. Scar even is pretty much devolved into just a Thanos card. Where else have you seen it played?
Yeah.
So like it's all everything new just feels like it's for Thanos, and I don't know how to fix that. Because
I really don't know.
Thanos.
Like Thanos was one of the first cards I bought with tokens, and it was back before I really started spending on Marvel Snap too. But I remember picking up the card. I was on the fence because when they did that massive drop of all the cards, like Thanos, Galactus, we also had like Valkyrie and Shuri and all these other cards, whatever. And I was looking at him. I think I was on the fence between like Thanos and Shuri was the top deck. Back then, nobody really played Thanos when he first came out. Yeah. And I was just like, I looked at the card and I'm just like, man, there's so many different decks you could play with Thanos, right? And that's why I wanted him. And we actually had a period of time where, even though it wasn't the top deck, you had like Thanos Zoo, Thanos Ongoing with like Valkyrie and stuff. Like, but mainly you had Lockjaw because that stuff was busted back then. But anyways, yeah, people are talking about Thanos. I don't know what you do to fix it. Here's my thing. Like you pointed out, the stats aren't amazing. I've played some Thanos just to see how busted it is, and it's fine, but like my only issue, and it's always my issue in Marvel Snap, is like the psychological aspect when certain decks get too popular. I don't mind playing against great decks, but when the entire community says this is the best deck, and it's like in so many of the games I play, right? Like a few weeks ago, it was Hela. I did one like Gold Conquest run, all 3 matches, Hela, right? I think it was actually 2 Gold Conquest runs. All 6 matches were Hela. I remember sitting there that night like, what the hell? Like, I just wish, I don't know. I'll say, I wish you all were more like me. I don't like playing the most popular decks. I wish you all were just like old Bootman here. That's when I get bored,
Right. See, I don't have any problem playing against Thanos in particular. Like the overall, the decks don't bother me. It's just this guy.
Magneto?
I hate this son of a bitch so much. Like,
that's fantastic.
Fuck this card. Because so many cards are important at the 4 cost, 3 and 4 cost. And like, I just find it to be so annoying. The worst thing Blob ever did for Marvel Snap was make people realize they should be playing more Magneto.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just, I don't want Thanos to get nerfed extensively. I do think Mockingbird is a bit too good in Thanos, admittedly. So
but it's annoying. It's annoying that they would have to nerf her because of Thanos.
No,
you know what I mean?
Nope. This is what we do. This is what you do. I have an easy fix for this. And I know you're going to say a certain card when I present this fix, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's going to make Thanos scary in the slightest. Just make it so that the Infinity Stones start in your deck. They're not generated at the start of the game. They're already there and the game starts.
Yeah.
So now Mockingbird just doesn't work with Thanos.
So wait, are you saying that like Pixie would get better?
That's what I would assume most people would lean towards. But like, who fucking cares? Like, my
Pixie,
God,
Pixie, you really got a high roll with Pixie.
Right, because you're like, oh my God, Pixie's going to get 1-cost stones shuffled in. Yeah, there are 6 1-costs in your deck now in an 18-card list that shuffles everything, and they can trade with each other.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Pixie and like,
and it makes drawing her way less likely and consistent because you want to drop her on 2.
Oh yeah, good point.
So who cares if there's a Pixie Thanos deck? I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
it's like the Pixie Haivo deck. Okay, let's look at this real quick. So like, let's look at Pixie. The top deck is going to be a Haivo deck. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah. Here it is.
Oh wow.
But let's look at, so it's at point 15 And let's open up a bit. Let's be generous. Let's go to 80. Okay. So it gets better prior to post infinite. Cool. 0.39, 54% win rate. All right, fine. Sure. But let's look at this real quick. High Evo. Okay. Let's remove Pixie. Whoops. Sorry. Wrong one.
Nope, you added her.
I added her. Want to remove her. Okay. That one's bad. That one's bad. Oh, look. This one, which is the exact same list, minus Pixie, putting in Shocker instead, has a better cube rate, better win rate than everything else. Do you know why?
Because you got a high roll with Pixie.
It's this one.
Hope Summers. Yeah.
So I argue that the Pixie version of High Evo is not good because of Pixie. It's good because it's the one running Hope Summers. Because look at the other ones. The ones at
Did
0.28.
you switch back to the latest patch, or are you still on 30 days?
30 days.
Because I wonder if it's still playing Leech. That deck had Leech, or all these decks have Leech. God, people are so stuck in their ways. Oh wait, hold on. We got a little switch up.
Latest patch makes it like really leaning into the hazmat stuff. I don't know why. I don't know what people did. Like it makes it wonky. But by the way, that one I was just telling you about, it's got lower games, but it's still at the same stat line. It's just funny. The same list. It's just for some reason they all want to play the Thing A-bomb stuff now. Spider-Woman. Yeah, I don't know what someone did, but
I've run into a few of those. But yeah, like I wouldn't mind Pixie Thanos working with Pixie. It's just I don't want, because I love playing Mockingbird with like not bounce decks, but like low cost decks, like the types of decks that I have fun with. You know what I mean? Because like Mysterio triggers her, Squirrels trigger her, all sorts of stuff that you could just use. Like I love those types of decks. But yeah, I'm not sure what they do with Thanos. My only problem is the popularity of it. So,
I mean,
that's
11%, 12% ish, like around that. Like it's popular, but like it's not Shang-Chi popular, at least.
Yeah.
You know, like Shang-Chi. Let's look at his real quick. 42%.
Woo!
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Good old Shang-Chi.
Imagine people's outrage if Goliath was 42%.
Oh yeah. By the way, that top deck right there, I don't like Blob in that deck. Maybe that other one with Magneto. Like I played it a bunch this weekend, and like the amount of times that I barely had anything in my deck for Blob to like hit was like insane.
He's almost always 15. He's almost always his minimum.
You think he's maybe? I don't know. Maybe
all you need is one of these cards in the deck: Vision, Mockingbird, Thanos, Cole.
Maybe I have a lot of bad luck.
If you have Cole, Thanos, Mockingbird, and Vision all in your hand and Blob, then you're probably just not going to play Blob. But even then, Hope Summers, Shang-Chi, Mobius, Jeff, Psylocke, like Professor X, and then Stones, he still can actually get to 15 from those.
Maybe I just had a lot of bad luck. Maybe I did.
You must have, because like I'm telling you, the math is in your favor when it comes to Blob now, because Mockingbird as an addition. Now, my thing about Mockingbird should be a 610. It does create a little issue with Thanos in the sense that I said that if you go into her early, if you high roll to drop her on turn 3 in this fashion, it makes her a risk to play. Because then on turn 4 she can easily get snapped on, but then you can just play Scar on 4, as well. Like it brings Scar back into the fold for Thanos.
Yeah.
As like a really good card. So I don't know if that's, but in all honesty, I'd rather have a super aggressive, like just big stuff Thanos deck that dies to Shang-Chi, than hyper efficient Vision Mockingbird, like only hit Thanos or Cole or Blob with Shang-Chi kind of thing. Because they're so good at like presenting, like also the simple fact that I can drop Professor X on turn 4 with a 0 cost Mockingbird is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it gets a little nutty. When you can bust that combo out, it's a little bit wacky.
But like, if I look at Mockingbird, there are some sick decks with Mockingbird that aren't
That's what I'm
Thanos.
saying.
So if I get Thanos out of there, because like honestly, I'd love to see the stones start in the deck, because like she's cool in Loki, which is what we're seeing a lot of already. But then like these zoo decks are sick. Like the
zoo
playing
decks fun.
Shayna. You have like the Patriots stuff. And also we saw Guest Gaming did one with Mockingbird that was a Patriot deck, but also with with Junk. Yeah, with like Annihilus, more Patriot. You just got good stuff deck.
Yeah.
She's in a Surfer
There's
deck.
like there's a Bass one that I've been loving.
You got Bounce. Here's a Junk deck. Surfer, just kind of good stuff deck. Also, like I tried her in a deck that was running Mysterio, and like Mysterio on 2. Also today on stream, that's why I was doing this. I was playing Mysterio with Mockingbird. Mysterio on 2, I was like, is this just underrated? Because the amount of games I won because they didn't think about where the Mysterio was.
Oh yeah.
Because like I was up 11-5 in one lane, and I'm like, okay, they passed on 5. That means they're probably gonna play She-Hulk. But if they play She-Hulk left, that's where I put my Mysterio. Then it's 15. We're tied, and then I'll win off difference everywhere else. And then they just played the She-Hulk there, and I'm like, what are you doing? They weren't thinking about it. Like, is Mysterio like on 2 an actual mind game we should be doing more?
Yeah, no, I love it. Like, because the decks I've been playing it'll use like Hit Monkey and stuff, and I have 2 options. I can play like an early Mysterio and like get Mockingbird down early, or I can kind of hold it back if I can get some other stuff to happen. But yeah, I really love Mockingbird as a card in like all these other decks. So I hope she doesn't take the hit from what is that?
It's kind of
look at that low cube rate, that high win rate and low cube rate.
Right.
Like people just know. People are just like, nah, I'm out of here.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, what is?
How they can't move any of their move stuff?
What is this, a glitch?
Chris, there's no move cards in this to enable your Vulture in 2099.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening, this deck has Vulture and Spider-Man 2099, but 0 move cards, and it also has Moon Knight for some reason.
It's a Pixie deck.
What's happening?
It's Hope Summers Pixie with Mockingbird.
Save that and tweet about it, because we need to find out. Maybe I'll do it. I got 2 screens. I need to ask.
Wait, how are you? Hold on. How are you reducing Mockingbird?
Yeah.
You're not. She's just a 5/9. I'm so confused.
This is the craziest thing. I just tweeted. I was like, Untapped, is this some sort of glitch? Like, what is happening? That's a
also
mess.
Black Bolt's in it, but no stature.
That has to be so good.
The longer I look, the worse it gets.
The weirder it gets. Yeah, because I'm like, well, Magneto moves stuff of theirs, but like you don't have like a Miles Morales or anything in there.
At that point, why aren't you playing Arrow if you just want 5/9s?
Yeah. What is going on?
I mean, this is just like stats, but then the Vulture I don't get.
Play it on stream tomorrow. See, maybe there's something you're missing. But look at the win rate and cube rate though. That doesn't make any sense.
I know it's popping off. People are winning.
Yeah, but like, why would
you're
anybody
running,
not
they're
stay?
running Pixie, but no Mobius either. Shouldn't that Vulture just be Mobius? Like, okay, I can forgive the 2099 the Mockingbird, because maybe genuinely their thinking might just be, look, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just trying to Pixie and make the best stat line in the game of 5/9 into like a 1/9 or a 2/9, right? Yeah. That's their that could be their thinking. And they're like, I'm not doing Arrow because I don't want to just pull something when I don't want to pull it, right? I just want to be able to play it where I want to play it and not pull their last card and care about that ever. Just want to have vanilla 5/9s. Sure, by all means. You could do A-bomb in here, by the way, but whatever. Sure. Okay. But then the Vulture.
Yeah.
It's like they started with like, we're doing 2099 in deck. Okay, we're adding Vulture. Hope Summers Pixie, and they just kind of forgot to add like a ghost spider or something.
But 580 games. This deck has 580 games.
Right. Who did this?
I don't know. Someone's trolling us.
All
right, let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah. Okay.
We're looking at these
Jesus Christ,
insane decks. I'm confused for the rest of the day. So next up, I want to talk about the new cards. So we're 3 cards in. Cannonball comes out tomorrow. I just want to revisit this because before the season started, like there were a lot of people saying like, oh, like every card this season is busted. Oh, it's so amazing. Now that we're up to our 3rd card, wait, there's a 4th card tomorrow. Like, how are you feeling so far? You've said some things about Hope Summers. You think Hope is too good?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep. And no one's going to agree with me for a very simple reason. Very simple reason. Because she's not obscenely, like, in your face about it. She's not obscene. Loki is obscene because you see the effects, and the effect feels big. Does that make sense? Like, the Loki effect feels big and impactful. Yeah, you take all their cards, like, I get all of them. And Hope feels less as impactful because they're like, well, you have to play stuff on her or whatever. But the very simple fact that I can play her in a Kitty Pryde deck with Elsa, right? And go Hope on 3. And then for the rest of the game, I can play Elsa and like Elsa Kitty on 4. And then I can go Kitty 6-drop. Kitty 6-drop for the last 2 turns. Like I can go Kitty Doom and then Kitty Eliath.
Yeah.
That should not be allowed. That little example. Seriously. Because the whole reason Kitty as a deck, the deck that you want to play Kitty in, is one that should be punished for the inherent flaw of the deck, which is you throw priority a lot.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You protect yourself from Shang-Chi and stuff like that, but you are soft to Eliath. You have to be smart with your energy and be able to play your deck appropriately because you're playing a 1 cost every turn. And you want to do like a lot of small things. That's why Elsa's good. It buffs Kitty. It buffs like your move stuff like Jeff and Vision to move in other lanes, right? You shouldn't be able to do all of that while also just say, I'm going to put Eliath and Doctor Doom in my deck as well. And then be able to play all of them in the last 2 turns. That inherently deletes and removes the downside of that deck, right?
Well, so you're saying like playing Doctor Doom and then regaining priority into Eliath?
Yeah, and then you just play Kitty Eliath.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is go turn 3, you just go Kitty, Kitty, Hope, Elsa Kitty, and then on turn 5 you go Kitty Doom. You'll have 6. Yeah. You'll have 7 energy again at the minimum, unless you play both of them on Hope. And then and that Doom might be a 6/7 by the way, with Elsa, or your Kitty's growing. And then the next turn you just go Kitty Eliath. That Eliath could also be a 6/4 on top of that. Because of Elsa. It inherently removes the downside of the card. I think, and she's a problem for future portions of the game now. It's going to be hard to make more cards like Kitty. It's going to be hard to make more cards that you can repeatedly use over and over again that are low in cost. She's too good for that type of thing. And on top of that, let me ask you this, Chris. Whenever you have someone in chat, whether you're streaming or like in the comment section on like YouTube or whatever, and they say, I don't have this card, I'm running this card, right? Or what do you think about this card in this deck?
Yeah.
There are plenty of those where you're like, I don't really see why you're doing that, right? I don't really understand the thought process here. Like I can find it a little bit, but you're not where you need to be. You should probably do this card instead. Or that's not an appropriate replacement for this card. This one would be better. If they say ever, no matter what deck it is, genuinely, any deck in the entire game, and they say, I have Hope Summers in my list, will you ever say that's wrong?
Will I ever say it's wrong to have Hope?
Right. Is there a single deck in which you can say confidently, don't think Hope should be in this list?
Like probably not. I want to say one where you can't like clear out the lane. Like if you weren't running Kitty or Jeff or anything where you can like move something out. So like if somebody filled that lane way too early, you know? Does that make sense? Like I want to be able to open up that lane and keep it open. But if somebody
Right.
just dumps a bunch of cards, but anyways, I get what you're saying. Most of the time, 90% of the time, I'd say, no, Hope is fine in that deck. But is that bad to have a card that fits in every deck? Like, what about Jeff? Jeff fits in every deck.
Yeah, but Jeff's not cheating on energy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look. Hope is in Thanos. Hope is in Surfer. Hope is in Bounce. More Thanos. More Thanos. A lot of Thanos. We have an Elsa Bounce Bloodstone again. We have just random Surfer stuff. Okay, now let's remove. Let me go. So we're going along because I'm just going to run in a lot of repeats because Thanos is so impactful. No Thanos, and then get rid of Surfer. Okay. Whoops, not Surger. Surfer. Okay. So now we have High Evo she's in. Now she's in just another bounce deck. More High Evo, but different flavor of High. Yep. Move. Loki she's in. Let's see. You have Patriot. Like, she's in a Pixie deck, which makes Pixie better by also. No more Loki. She's in a Destroy deck, which is a weird Destroy deck, really bad Destroy deck. Let's ignore this one. What the fuck is going on with that?
Yeah, what's going on? Who is feeding Untapped this data?
690 games, by the way. What the fuck? Anyway, that has to be a streamer playing a draft deck or something. Galactus, yeah. She's in. She's in just another like Havoc bounce deck. Is this the one Hooglin played for the X-Men thing? Yeah, this is the Hooglin X-Men deck.
Possibly.
Like, there are so many different decks she's in. In all of them, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Because she just cheats. She cheats the game. She should be once per turn. And again, a lot of people listening are probably saying, she's not broken. She doesn't do anything broken. Because she doesn't feel obscene. It's the hidden things. It's the same reason people don't inherently look at, like, Zabu now as like, oh, that's a problem for the game. Or like Sarah and stuff, because it's just little cost reduction. It's just a little energy cheat. It's not like it's the thing that I'm cheating into that's the broken thing. It's not Hope, the one that's enabling it, right? And I talked about this last time. Didn't I? I told you about the Hope Summers thing with when we last recorded. Did I talk about Magic at all?
Yeah.
Like with with Hogak and stuff with Zabu. That's what I did with Zabu.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing as my argument with Zabu. Here is obscenely broken, powerful card that's making everything else in the deck super good. Okay? Ban everything else in the deck that's super good. The stuff you're cheating into.
So you think she'd be fine if she was once per turn?
No! I still think she'd be really good. But at the minimum, she should be once per turn, and then she could probably, if that's the power level that they want to have in the game, then that's fine. That's their choice.
Everybody, if you're listening now, if they do nerf Hope or completely rework her, yell at Brad for getting them to change something you spent money on.
Energy cheat will always be in every card game whatsoever. Any resource cheat, whether it's mana, energy, whatever it's called, is always the one that's like, you should have eyes on it. Playing things for free is scary.
Think about how much better she is than Corvus, right? Think about how much better Hope is than Corvus. Corvus has one more power and like randomly discard your stuff.
Okay, and people can argue like, but you have to play on top of her so you don't get the immediate. You can't go from 3 to 5 immediately, right? On 4, you have to play stuff on 4. That's fine. You know what you can do still with Hope? You can play 2 6 costs that game, or if you have something like Yellow Jacket or Wasp, if you want to build that way, you can go from 3 to 5 as well. Okay, you can do that. Yeah. And here's the thing: let's forget about Corvus. What about Electro? Think of Electro. Electro is a 3/2, so it's 2 points of power underneath the vanilla stat line, where Hope is right at the vanilla stat line, a 3/4 on rate, and has two effects. You get +1 max energy for the rest of the game. That's it. Simple. It's just one. It's just one for the rest of the game. Okay? You can go into 5, 6, 6. Cool. But then you Sandman yourself. You cannot play anything more than 1 card a game or a turn.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hope.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder what the thought process was creating Hope when Electro exists, right?
Right.
Like if Electro was a person,
even if she was once per turn, you're still going to be able to go 6 cost, but at least you can't go 6 cost plus a 8 power Kitty Pryde, then do it again on 6. Right?
Yeah.
At least there's that. So there's some restriction, But I think she shouldn't be a 3/4 because she's perfectly on rate with a better effect than Electro, in my opinion, because you have more agency. Because the trade-off is Electro is consistent throughout each turn. You always get that +1. Same thing with Corvus. That's the trade-off, right? But the upside of the agency you have in your plays with Hope and being able to have much better deck construction with it, because you can't do Kitty Pryde stuff with Electro. You can do Kitty Pryde stuff with Kitty. Yeah. And you can also do the big stuff that Electro wants to do in a Kitty deck and have a bit more flexibility in the early game where you sacrifice that in Electro decks. You see what I mean? Yeah. You can build it in a way that makes it so much better and remove the downsides of one deck just by playing this card. This she is a problem in power level for future instances of the game, future metas. I think that's until they give us a card that actually denies energy, like Mobius. Like a
Mobius for energy.
But they said they're probably going to do that at some point. But because they said it in that way, because they said it in that way, we'll probably do that, right? That tells me, because it's not in data mines. We've never seen a card that's been in data mines saying that. And we see data mines pretty far advanced, or did for a while, right?
Yeah.
At the very least, it's probably not this year that comes out. Or it's like the end of the year. That's months away. What month are we in, Chris?
We're in March.
It's the third month out of 12. So you're going to tell me you want Hope would have to stay as she is for 9 months until we have something to deal with her appropriately.
I don't know if it would take that long, because we've been getting data mines 2 months ahead, right? Like we know what.
Right. What I'm saying is, prior to the change of data mines, where we only see 2 months ahead, we used to see potentially a year and ahead, because we had. Because remember that data mine list, because there's still stuff we've seen there. For example, we don't see the current version of Mephisto anymore, right? Because they removed it.
I haven't checked that thing in so long.
He's the same. He's the same of double your cubes or double your winnings.
Oh.
Because that's what he was originally. What I'm saying is the previous data mines, when we saw 50 cards, like Night Nurse, right? We saw Blink before when she was a bad move card. When we saw Blob when he was just can't be moved as a 3/3 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Those were all data mines from the first year of playing that saw essentially 2 years in advance. So we've never seen a card that could be like that. It could release this year. I hope it does. But it's a long-winded way of saying until that kind of card comes out, which I don't even know if that's enough, though. Because then if Hope's in every deck, which I think she should be at this point, I think she really should be in pretty much every single deck. Why not? Why not run her? Because it's not as simple as when we talk about a great example is this. So you could argue, but Brad, you said it before, certain decks don't want the +1. Look at Discard, for example, with X23. Discard doesn't run X23 because what are you going to do with that +1? Sure. It doesn't work that great in Discard for the +1 for a single turn. But if I have agency and I can construct my deck in a way to make sure that I can get +2 next turn just by playing 2 cards on her, right? Or +3 next turn even. Do you see the difference? Now it's just massively, it's a huge change. I just think she's a problem in the long term. She doesn't feel obscenely broken, but I promise you what she does is.
Yeah. They might rework her by then. It's just, I think it's such a risk when you nerf a season pass card, because the PR around that shit is just everybody's like, oh, you sucker that seem to buy it in and da 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 da. And it's just whatever. But yeah, no, you make very good arguments, sir. Very good arguments. What are your thoughts on the other cards like Pixie? Pixie, do you think that card lived up to the hype? Do you think it had proper hype around it?
I don't know, because I saw some people say she's going to be broken. I saw some people say she looks kind of bad. I think she's pretty mid. You'll win some games and have fun games with her.
Yeah.
Because she's a fun card. I don't think she's a very competitive card, though.
Yeah, no, I definitely play her for fun. But that's about it. If you don't curve out Pixie into Mobius, you know what I mean? The amount of times I've drawn a 6-cost Mobius in my hand. The way I'll put it is
negative is more competitive than she is, because you can't with negative. If you have like the nuts of like Zabu negative and Jane in your hand, right, or any acceleration for a turn 3 negative, then you're snapping and probably winning 8 or 4 cubes, because either they retreat on 6 when it's up for 8, or they stay in for some reason against the Jane Foster and you get 8. Okay, that's negative. Or if you don't have that and you do nothing for the first 2 turns, you retreat for 1 cube. The difference with Pixie is I could have the turn 2 Pixie into turn 3 Mobius, feel confident, snap, but I could just never draw my 5 cost that became a 1 cost. I could just only draw my 1 and 2 costs that became 4 and 5 costs.
Yeah, no, that's happened to me a lot of times. That's happened to me very, very many times, yeah.
So you can't even adequately snap aggressively with her, because that's even still a gamble. So if you're trying to climb, I'd rather play negative. She's just a worse negative, albeit I think more fun than negative.
Yeah, what I will say, we've already talked about Mockingbird. I'll say this. I've mentioned, like, I was getting bored with the game. Like, it just felt very stale, whatever. The first week of the season when Hope and Pixie dropped, I was having more fun in the game than I've had in, like, months. And months. It was just... I was just living the dream. I was testing new decks. I was so excited. I made 3 videos. I recorded 3 videos in a day. Released all of them. I was just like, yay, it's so fun. I want to share these decks. And then Mockingbird comes out. Card that I love, but it's just gotten stale again. I'm playing against all the same decks. Like that first week, everybody was experimenting. We had 2 new cards. A lot of people did pick up Pixie, and it was just doing something different, and it just shook things up, and I loved it, and I miss it, and that was just a lot of fun. And I don't know if we're going to get back to that place. Maybe on the War Machine week, I think we might get to that place. I think people just be so excited to try to do busted things with War Machine that we may have a little bit more deck diversity. But yeah, I just wish there was more diversity, because maybe this is the issue. I hit Infinite, you hit Infinite like within the first week or 2 as well, and like a lot of us hit it pretty fast. So you get up into the Infinite ranks, right? Which is the more competitive aspect. Everybody's trying to play the best deck. But then you go to Conquest mode. That's a competitive mode too. People are trying to play the best decks, like, unless you're doing like Proving Grounds, I guess. So I'm just running into people just try-harding with the best decks. Like, I don't know if I need a different mode where people just experiment and try goofy things.
An unranked mode would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because even Proving Grounds. But yeah, because that's just my main hang-up on the game. I just hate when people are playing the same deck a ton. What do you think about Cannonball? You think he's going to be any good?
Yeah, I think he's going to be better than Pixie at the very least.
Yeah,
I also think he's going to be better than War Machine.
Yeah, like, I just don't know. I just keep thinking of him, just poor Stegron. Such a fun ability. This one's a little bit more targeted.
Stegron's underrated, in my opinion.
I do think so. I think so as well. I wish they bumped up his power just a little.
Better with the previous iteration of like the unrevealed cards can be moved with him.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I do like that Cannonball is something that you could target. You have the chance to really. I think we talked about this like before the season started, but like he has a potential to be a surprise card, right? Especially if you do some of that Hope Summer stuff. Huh? Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Guaranteed kill on blob.
Did they say whether or not he works on, like, if you played him same time as Professor X? Does that do anything?
Professor X will always protect things from getting killed.
Yeah. That's annoying.
So, the reason I think he's better than War Machine, I recognize that War Machine's ability, because of his interaction with Ebony Maw and Infinite, that I recognize that is stronger than what, on average, you'll be doing with Cannonball, which is just killing a thing. Right? But this is why I think War Machine is not as good as people think he's going to be. Remember that first week of Supergiant? And I had my priority deck, and I was like, oh, just Supergiant with the Goliath is really good. I hit Infinite like the first 2 days with it or whatever. And it's still a really good deck. And then after that, When was the last time you see Supergiant? How often do you see Supergiant, Chris?
Like, never anymore. Her play rate's got to be down so low. She's still a good card, I think.
She is a good card. Listen, she's a very good card.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. She's not good at climbing. Because the second I play against you, Chris, and I play Supergiant on 4, and I have priority, there's no reason for you to stay in that game if we're both trying to climb infinite. You leave. Because you're like, oh, I lose to Eliath.
Yes and no. I've randomly ran into a Supergiant and I get excited, like my opponent's playing it. And while that's very true, each time I've done it, it's been a 50-50 on their Eliath.
True.
I lose a lot of them.
A lot of people don't take those 50-50s. They don't want to take them.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think War Machine is that, but intensified to 11. Because the second anyone says, I'm going to play War Machine on 5 against me, I'm not staying. I'm leaving. I'm not staying. I'm not just going to, because you're just going to play an Infinite. Like, if you're up in 2 other lanes and you just drop me Infinite here, unless I know for certain I can win those other lanes here, like I need to be like 110% confident that I can win through an Infinite or I can kill it with a Shang-Chi. Most of the time, I'm just going to be like, nah, take your 1 cube. See ya. Peace out.
So you're not even going to do it with your cannonball where you could knock their Infinite out of the lane they need to win?
Depends on priority, but even then, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That'd be fun.
Why? But that idea is going to be the same thing for a lot of people. People are going to, like, that first couple of days, you're going to surprise people with the Infinite and, like, the Ebony Maw. Because a lot of people that just play the game don't pay attention to the Discord and these interactions, so they don't know about it yet. But give it 3 days. People will figure out fast that this is the interaction of how it works. And the second you play War Machine on 5, they're not like it's going to have the same novelty to me as Storm on 4, Legion on 5.
Hey, Brad, let me ask you if you're ready for this. Turn 5, play War Machine onto Hope, and then drop Infinite and Ebony Maw.
Right.
And then kill yourself.
Turn 3 Hope, turn 4. Yeah, that's fantastic. That sounds great. Problem is, I'm not staying in against that. I just refuse. Why should I? Yeah. Why should I let you just play a 620 against me for free?
Yeah. Yeah, I still we talked about this weeks ago, but I just still can't believe they allowed that to be an interaction. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I don't either.
Because kind of like what you were talking about with Electro, like you can't just completely negate like the downside of a very strong thing, right? You can't. You shouldn't be able to do that. You should not be able to, like, okay. When I pig an Infinite, which I do 99% of the time, when I pig an Infinite, that's me. That's me, and I'm like, oh, well, bad luck, right?
Right.
Or if I leech an Infinite, oh, well, that's me, bad luck, right? Maybe by the time
or
I
you
leech,
gladiatored into play, like,
yeah, right? Those are all me. I'm doing something. I screwed up, right? But giving somebody the agency to play Infinite on turn 6, like, without skipping that turn, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So
I just like, from a gameplay perspective and balance perspective, I don't mind the interaction. I don't think it's obscenely broken. I think it's like whatever. It's like it's strong, but I think because it's telegraphed, it's so easy just to see and be like, bye bye, see ya.
See, like,
it's a 1 cube machine.
I'm thinking about the fun stuff with lockdown decks or like storm decks. Like, I think that might be fun. Like running Zabu, having like some fun cards in it, like Jessica Jones, stuff like that. And then like if you miss on your Jessica Jones, you can still sneak into your storm location. It might take a few weeks for the hype around War Machine to die down before you can really get away with it, because a lot of people are going to be playing War Machine, you know?
Oh, easy. You just play the lockdown deck like you're describing, but also play Infinite in it because you should.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could just play. So when I did my first article for Marvel Snap Zone a couple years ago, it was on a Series 2 deck. That was an Infinite deck. It was Infinite Lockdown. It was running like Sunspot. It was running like armor to protect your Sunspot, and then you just storm the Sunspot lane. You have Jessica Jones in there, and then you just pass on 5, grow your Sunspot. Jessica Jones gets big, and you drop Infinite. That was like the whole thing. Well, now you can just do that. You could just straight up play that deck again, but you don't need to pass on 5. You have the option to if you want. You can still grow Sunspot by 1 or whatever.
Yeah. You can start just dropping Infinite in your Storm lane. What the fuck?
Right. Isn't that sick? And then you could play Legion in that deck too, so you can also like just have the option of going Storm on 4, Legion on 5, just like the good old days. Like let's just have the deck that telegraphs everything we do. How about that? Let's just play that deck.
Yeah.
I stormed on 4. I stormed on 4, Chris. What am I gonna do? Stormed on 4. Am I gonna Legion? Oh, I fucking got you. It's a War Machine. Let's go. It's a War Machine. I'm gonna fucking play Infinite. Let's go. Like, it sounds fun. I'll have fun doing it, but I'm gonna get 1 cube at a time. I know that for a fact.
Hey, but as Galactus taught us, people don't care. They'll take their 1 cube at a time. They'll do it. They'll do that all day.
Except old Galactus, when we hit that Galactus, like we played Galactus that first week and hit it, and like I got it the first day, you got it like 3 days later. I got a lot of 8 cubers, dude.
I got a few. But that's the thing, like, because me and you, like, we're talking, and all of our beautiful, intelligent listeners, we're talking from the perspective of people who are smart in the game. But, like, I tweet about it all the time. Like, I play against so many people where they had no business staying. Like, no business at all staying. And a lot of times they lose, but sometimes they hit some random high roll. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, so, I don't know. War Machine, as telegraphed as it might be, people might stay. You know what I mean? So
I'll take those 8 cubers when I get them. But like I expect fully people to catch on, and 9 times out of 10, when I play War Machine on 5, they just go, just like the meme, or just peace out and just fade.
Just fade away. Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up.
Thank you, everybody. We love you. We appreciate you. You're amazing. You are the best. I thought it was 4 weeks, so I was going to be like, sorry for the wait. I guess not. Just you're welcome for the day or two early or right on time episodes. So don't complain. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think of a lot of these cards. Do you expect to get Cannonball tomorrow, or by the time this airs, probably on either tomorrow or Wednesday, or whenever Chris decides to upload it, I guess. Have you gotten Cannonball? Do you like them? Are you going to get War Machine? Do you think War Machine's all that good? Do you agree with my take about Hope Summers? Call me an idiot. I'm sure you're going to. You're going to say you're unsubscribing from Chris because you can't stand this white dude he's doing the podcast with.
What a shame.
Look at that. But no matter what, you watching, yelling at me in the comments, it's good support either way. We love you and appreciate you nonetheless.
Yeah. And you stream on Twitch every now and then, don't you?
I do Monday through Friday around 11:30 Eastern in the morning till about 4:30 typically. Sometimes we run over that.
So go harass him in there. Go harass Brad in his Twitch.
Yeah. And tell me what you want to see, because like I raided guest today, and like he had like these like commands set up where like someone raids and like it plays like a super like loud song, and he starts like lip syncing to it, and like he puts on like sunglasses, like dancing. There's emotes everywhere, and I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I can't do that shit. I can't be that kind of streamer. It's just it's not my vibe. I'm not. It looks fun, but like, so let me know what you want to see, because like I'll have people raid me sometimes. I had Ordinary Harry raid me once, and he raided me with like 600 people. So, and I had around 700 people in my stream for like, 10 minutes. And then it just dropped. It basically dropped all the way down to 300. I think people just kind of going like lurking AFK. And then I gained like maybe like 5 followers from that entire thing. So please, by all means, tell me what you want to see, because I don't get it. I'm just vibing. And then I randomly last week had like 150 people watching, and like today I got like 30. So I was like, I don't know what I did last week. I did nothing last week. I'm just here. So let me know. And you should stream more, Chris.
Yeah. Make Marvel Snap fun again. We'll see.
Okay, Donald.
Yeah. I'm gonna get some hats. All right. Great episode. Go watch Brad on Twitch.
Bye, everybody. See ya.
Peace.